Hey guys, let's discuss current affairs. Today's first questions on the Iraqi Prime Minister who survived an assassination plot. The guy who survived this assassination plot, that's the name of the Iraqi Prime Minister, is Mustafa al-Kadhimi. This chap was, he's an ex-director of the Iraqi National Intelligence, so spy chap. And why was he attacked? That's a question. Why was he attacked? And who attacked him? See, Iran, this is Iraq. You see, this is Iraq and predominantly populated by, you could say 68% populated by Shia Muslims. And in Islam, there are two major sects, sects, sects. I said major, not all major sects. One is Sunni, the other is Shia Muslims. Sunnis comprise the majority of Muslims. In fact, most Muslims in the world follow, a little over 80% of Muslims follow Sunni Islam, while Shias comprise about 15%. The numbers vary between 10 and 15% of Muslims. Now, you need to understand that the basic difference lies in who succeeded the Islamic prophet Muhammad. Okay, that's where the separation starts. Sunni Shia. I'm not going to go deeper into this particular thing, but remember, Sunnis believe that the Islamic prophet Muhammad passed away without appointing a successor. Okay, without appointing any successor. So these Sunni Muslims believe that Abu Bakr was accepted by most followers of most Muslims in those days to be the first caliph and the successor of Muhammad. But then Shias believe that it was not Abu Bakr, but it was the son-in-law of the Prophet Ali, who was chosen to be the successor by the Prophet himself, the Islamic Prophet Muhammad himself. But then there is a variance as to which is right, and this variance is what led to primarily the split in Islam. Sunnis believe Abu Bakr being the first caliph, the chosen successor of the Prophet, while Shias take the chosen successor to be Ali. So without going deeper into this, because these are religious issues and not for us to discuss, okay. The most powerful Shia Muslim country in the world is Iran. This is the world's most powerful Shia Muslim country, and 95% of Iranian Muslims practice Shia Islam, while Iraq is 68% population. Muslims practice 68% of Muslims practice Shia Islam. For ages, Iran had considered Iraq to be its playground, especially after the death of Saddam Hussein in 2003, when the Americans were running the show here. Iran, through proxies, began to rule the country. It is a simple issue of strategic influence. Iran always wanted to have influence in Iraq. To give you a backgrounder, between Iraq and Iran, there was a war, an 8-year war, and that happened between 1980 and 88. Okay, what triggered the war? There are other reasons, but just before that, the year before the war started, that's in the year 1979, major political developments happened both in Iraq and Iran. In Iraq, a Sunni Muslim named Saddam Hussein came to power. He grabbed power in a military coup. Remember, this was a predominantly Shia Muslim country, and a Sunni grabbed power. And in Iran, the same year, there was an Islamic revolution wherein the monarchy was ousted, thrown out by the hardcore clerical, group of people. So these clerics put in place what is called a clerical administrative setup. So today, the supreme leader of Iran is the Ayatollah. His name is Khamenei. Okay, so Iran is always considered Iraq to be like, look, you guys got to be you got to be within our strategic sphere of influence. So this guy, Saddam died in 2003. Okay, Saddam died, and then came, a series of prime ministers and all that. They were there as long as they were in the good books of the United States. Now, this particular guy, Mustafa al-Kadhimi, became the ruler only, what we say, he became the prime minister only a couple of years back, and he has been blamed by Iran to be pro-US and being responsible for the deaths of two of their most important, military men, including the chief of the, chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Armored Guard. His name is General Suleiman, and he was killed in a missile strike in Baghdad. And Iran has not forgiven this man. So there was this attack on his house. Kadhimi's house was attacked. It's called the Republican Palace. It was attacked by drones. Drones fired missiles, and it's believed that one of the three missiles struck the house of this man. He survived, of course. Very large compound. He was not in the part of the house that was struck. Okay, so two were shot down by the Iraqi army. One hit the house, but this guy survived. And he blamed the Iranian-backed militia. So Iran believes that, this guy in power is not a good thing for its, show of power in Iraq. So, it's all, so it's less of religion, it's more of politics. This is how it works. Okay. Just to give you an idea of who this rest of the chaps are, Joko Widodo is the president of Indonesia. Okay. Kadhimi, prime minister of Iraq. Ibrahim Raisi, president of Iran. He's a president, okay, but the country is more or less effectively in the clutches of the spiritual leader named Ayatollah Khamenei. Okay, then Naftali Bennett, he is a Jew, and he is a president. He is a prime minister of Israel. Okay, so almost see all of the countries here are, they're all Muslim. All these Sunni Shia, they're all Muslims except Israel, which is a Jewish nation. As far as Kiswa is concerned, Bishar al-Kashwani is concerned, he is the Prime Minister of Jordan. Jordan, Jordan. Now, Jordan is a constitutional monarchy. There is a Raja here, but while the Raja is all powerful, he still has his consort ministers led by the Prime Minister who assists this chap. Okay, the king's name is Abdullah II. This is West Asia, my friends. The Europeans love to use the term Middle East. I like to say West Asia. For us in India, this is western part of Asia. Okay, so fair then, guys. From here, let's go to the next one. So the following Indian mountaineers will be bestowed with the prestigious Tenzing Norgay National Adventure Award 2020 for her outstanding contribution in the field of land adventure, because the award is given for adventure sports in land, sea and air. So this is land adventure. That's Priyanka Mohite. And Priyanka Mohite, my friends, has climbed most of the world's tallest peaks. She has climbed Everest in 2013. Everest is, just in the case of Everest, I will give you the height, 8849 meters, where historically we believe that the height was 8848 meters, but couple of years back the Chinese and the Nepalese surveyors, they came out with a newer number that the Everest is rising. Okay. So Priyanka has climbed Everest. She has climbed Makalu, one of the tallest peaks in the world. Okay, she has climbed Africa's tallest peak called Kilimanjaro. This is Africa's tallest peak. Kilimanjaro is in Tanzania, is on the border between Tanzania and Kenya. Okay, Tanzania and Kenya. Now, to give you some dope, while she has climbed most of these mountains, most of the tallest peaks in the world, I would want you to know who was Tenzing Norgay. Tenzing Norgay, as you know, was one of the two persons who climbed, who became the first to climb Mount Everest. Mount Everest, Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary. Hillary was a New Zealander, whereas Tenzing Norgay was in Indian Nepali. Okay. So Edmund Hillary, Tenzing Norgay became the first two persons to climb the Everest in 1953. Now there is one more thing here. Tenzing Norgay. You could write Tenzing Norgay National Adventure Award. India's highest adventure sports award. Okay, star dash. First given in 1994. Dash. Equal to Arjuna Award. See, Arjuna Award was started in 1961. Yeah. This is for adventure sports only. And what does it carry? The winner gets a prize money of 5 lakh rupees, cash 5 lakh rupees, plus a trophy, as a statue of Tenzing Norgay. Okay. Which of the following nations have teamed up to send a rover to the moon by 2024? Well, the answer is on the screen for you. And these three countries they want to go to the moon to hunt for water. So if you want to write, I'll give a short sentence for this. Yeah, you could write this. Moon mission of Australia, Canada and Japan dash to identify regions of moon, regions regions of moon that can be made habitable for growing food and mining operations. Growing food and mining operations. Okay, full stop. This would lay the foundation for a manned moon base. Okay, guys. See, it's always been man's dream to colonize space. Mars is quite far away. It would take 3 years for us to reach there, and it would take a lot more than just air to stay on Venus, because Venus's surface temperature is very high and it's not habitable. So the moon is the nearest celestial body that we could go and set up a base so that humans could stay there and move between our planet, our home, and our only natural satellite. Okay. See, I think I told you in the past, I asked you, of course, it's a rhetorical question because you guys cannot see, you cannot respond to my question. It's a one-way discussion. How much time does moonlight take to reach the earth? The moon, as we know, is not a luminescent body, but it does reflect light. And what is the light it reflects? Sunlight. Sun's light falls on the moon, and moon reflects that to earth. It would take 1.3 seconds for moonlight to travel to earth. That we would know because we know the distance between the earth and the moon, which is 3.84 lakh kilometers. 3.84 lakh kilometers is the distance between our planet and our only natural satellite. And given the fact that the speed of light is about 3 lakh kilometers per second, you would get a little under 1.3 seconds for moonlight to reach earth. Remember one thing, we know, of course, you all know this, that it takes 8 minutes for sunlight to reach earth. It simply means the sunlight we are experiencing now, let's say we are experiencing now, is what left the sun 8 minutes back. That's what it means. Okay. Just to know the capitals, shall we know the capitals? Australia, Canberra. Canada, Ottawa. Japan, Tokyo. Pakistan, Islamabad. Maldives, Mali. Only the difficult ones. Let's look at the not so common ones. North Korea, Pyongyang. I guess South Korea, chalo, Seoul. The rest you are familiar with. I want you to know one thing. See, Australia, Canada, anything else here? Yeah, Australia and Canada are not republics. Not republics. India is a republic. We say the Republic of India is the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, People's Republic of China. Yeah. The Republic of the United States of America. Japan is not a republic. Australia, these three are not republics. These three are not republics. Why? Why are they not republics? See, a republic is a system in which the head of the state is an elected representative. The head of the state is an elected representative. Who is the head of the state of India? The president. The president is elected. In India, the president is elected by an electoral college comprising the elected members of both the houses, Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, and all MLAs. We are talking about only elections. It's an indirect election, but it's an election. The president is elected in the sense that we don't directly elect the president of India. MPs and MLAs elect the president, but nevertheless it is an election because we elect the MPs and MLAs. Okay? Now, if you look at Australia and Canada and Japan, these three have a monarch as the head of their own country, as the head of their country. Like Japan, Japan has a monarchy, constitutional monarchy. Though there is a parliament set up in place, the head of the country is an emperor, is a monarch. Currently it is Naruhito. What is it? Naruhito. 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 Now coming to the other two, Australia and Canada. Well, let's bring in New Zealand also. Australia, Canada, New Zealand. These three were ruled by Britain. After Britain gave them independence, these three countries chose the British monarch. They chose to continue with the British monarch as the head of their own country. So even today, the head of the state of Australia is the British monarch. Same is the case with Canada You look at Canada, you look at Belize, you look at New Zealand. Okay, so these countries have the British monarch as the head of their own country. And the monarch comes to the office by way of inheritance. It's a legacy thing, isn't it? Yeah. And when we say that on 26 January 1950 we became a republic, that's because the first President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, took the oath of office on that day. It's nothing to do with the constitution. Please know that. Being a republic has nothing to do with the constitution. See, Japan has a constitution. So does Canada, and so do Canada and Australia. But they are not republics. Okay. 26 January 1950 we became a republic because the head of the state of India, president that is, took the oath of office for the first time ever. In collaboration, how do you say this? Collaboration. Yeah, I know it sounds weird. In collaboration with the NABARD. What's NABARD? National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Okay, we'll take notes on this in a while. In collaboration with the NABARD, ESAF Small Finance Bank has recently launched a state-level local sustainable economic development training program in Dash that will benefit 300 panchayats. Well, the answer is Kerala, because this bank, ISAF, let's call it, ISAF SFB, is headquartered in Kerala. Okay, just to give you an idea, you could write this. Small Finance Bank head office is in Thrissur, which is in Kerala. Its CEO is a guy called K. Paul Thomas. K. Paul Thomas. K. Paul Thomas. Okay. Now, NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Head office Mumbai. Chairperson is Chintala Govindarajulu. Chintala Govindarajulu. Okay. Would you want to know the names of the chief ministers of these places? Why not? Extra stuff. Yeah. Telangana, K. Chandrasekhar Rao. K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin. S-T-A-L-I-N. Stalin. M.K. Stalin. Karnataka, Basavaraj Bommai. Andhra Pradesh, Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy. Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy. Jagan Mohan is one word. Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy. Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan. P. Vijayan. Okay. So when you say, look at the surnames, now. Telangana, K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Kalvakuntla, Chandrasekhar Rao. Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin. Muthuvel Karunanidhi Stalin. Karnataka, we said Basavaraj Bommai. Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy is Yeduguri Sandinti Jagan Mohan Reddy. Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan. Okay. But not required. Surnames are not greatly required for us. Who of the following Formula 1 drivers won the 2021 Mexico City Grand Prix? You know, Mexico City is the capital of the country of Mexico. the third largest country in North America. Okay, the answer is highlighted in bold, but why don't you write Mexico City 2021 Grand Prix winner? He is from Netherlands, so winner's name Netherlands, country name Netherlands, and then he races for, his team's name is Red Bull Racing Honda. Red Bull Racing Honda. So he won this basically. Number 2 was Hamilton. Runner up Hamilton. Just for, see, this is not about the runner up thing, it's about extra stuff. Okay, he belongs to UK, and he drives a Mercedes. That's how you pronounce it. Mercedes. Okay. Then number 3, Sergio Perez. The third place was taken by Sergio Perez, and he belongs to Mexico and drives a same, what is that, Red Bull Racing Honda. See, as of now, with 3 races to go, I follow this sport very closely. With 3 races to go, Max Verstappen is ahead of the current champion, the defending champion, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton has won 7 world championships. That's a tie with, Michael Schumacher. But as of today, Max Verstappen is leading the race to become the new world champion of 2021. He's about 14 points ahead of Hamilton. And 14 points is a lot of points, especially with just 3 races to go. Okay, and one more thing. When you look at this laps in Mexico City Grand Prix Formula 1 racetrack, the entire length of the track is about 4 kilometers, 4.3 kilometers. Okay, 4.3 kilometers, but they take 71 laps. In this race, there were 71 laps, so that comes to about 305 kilometers. Yes, 305 kilometers, my friends. That's a long distance, now. Yes. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, Falguni Nair is now India's wealthiest self-made female billionaire. She is the founder of Nykaa. Nykaa, as you know, comes from the Sanskrit word actress. Nykaa, someone who's always in the limelight kind of thing. Okay, and you could write this Nykaa, about Nykaa. India's first unicorn headed by a woman. So among all the unicorns, all other unicorns like Paytm, Ola and all, Oyo, they're all headed by men. This is the first ever unicorn headed by a woman that's become a unicorn. And by the way, what's a unicorn? If you're not very familiar, unicorn with a valuation of $1 billion. A startup with a valuation of $1 billion is called a unicorn. UNICOR, and unicorn. 1 billion, if you take 75 rupees per exchange value of a dollar, that's 7,500 crore. Yes, that's the value of this company. It's more than that actually. Okay, so it was started, if you want to write, you could write dash started 2012. dash beauty, comma wellness, 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 and fashion products, products and fashion products. Okay, yeah. On which neighboring nation did India host the Delhi Regional Security Dialogue on 10th November 2021? On which country? I mean, the agenda of the meet was Afghanistan. What's happening in Afghanistan and the security implications for the neighborhood. So, to tell you about Afghanistan, you could write Kabul is the capital. It's run by the Taliban. So, Taliban have a spiritual leader. Okay. The Taliban, you could say, started in 1996, and since then there have been three, including the current chief. First, the guy was a co-founder, Mullah Muhammad Omar. Okay, Muhammad Omar was the first guy. Second chief was Akhtar Mansoor, who was there for about a year or so. Okay, Akhtar Mansoor, and the third is a current guy called Hibatullah. You could write this. Hibatullah Akhundzada. You could write, yeah, supreme leader of Taliban, and Afghanistan, Okay, next. Next, right. Currency. See, I did not give the name of the prime minister and all that. No, I'm talking only the spiritual leader of the main leader of Taliban. Currency is Afghani. The name of the currency is Afghani. Oh, the country is in deep trouble, my friends. Deep trouble. Okay. Now, you may wonder, how big is Afghanistan? Well, just to give you an idea, 6.52 lakh square kilometers. How big will this be? Take Rajasthan, 3.42. Rajasthan, okay. Madhya Pradesh, 3.08. Okay, lakh square kilometers. So if you add this up, it becomes Afghanistan. Two Indian states, Rajasthan plus Madhya Pradesh, two of the largest states in India, together would make the area of Afghanistan. But the population is about 3.3 crore. 3.3 crore. As of today, more than 80% of the country is below poverty line. It's a really bad time out there. Okay. So just to give you an idea here, Nepal, the capital, as you know, is Kathmandu. The Prime Minister is Sher Bahadur Doiba. Sher Bahadur Doiba is the Prime Minister of the country. The currency is Nepali rupee. Coming to Sri Lanka, the capital is Colombo. There is another one. There is another capital. It's called Sri Jayavardhane Pure Kotte. Two separate words. Kotte is another word. Second word. Sri Jayavardhane Pure Kotte. Okay. Then if you look at more, the president of this country, because it is a presidential system, is Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Let's write. The currency is Sri Lankan rupee. Maldives, a while ago we mentioned the capital, Male. The president is Muhammad Ibrahim Soleh. Ibrahim Soleh. Muhammad Ibrahim Soleh. Okay. Okay, let me write Soleh here. The currency is Rufia. 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 My handwriting is bad, man. I really can't do much about it. I tried a lot, but then very difficult to lose things like this. Bhutan's capital is Thimphu, and its prime minister. It's a constitutional monarchy. So there is a prime minister here. The prime minister is what's the name of the prime minister? Sharing Lote. Sharing Lote. And the currency is Gultrum. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff, my friends. Which company has recently launched an AI artificial intelligence driven drug discovery startup called Isomorphic Labs? So drug discovery is a long process. Now they are going to use AI to come up with better drugs to be able to treat the most dangerous diseases that are impacting humankind. So Alphabet is a company. Alphabet, as you know, is the parent company of Google and related companies, YouTube and all that. It's headquartered, I'll give you two things, headquarters and CEO. Headquartered in Mountain View, California. Headquartered in, see, these are all American companies, so it's taken for granted we're discussing America here. Mountain View, California. Mountain View, California. And its CEO is a guy called Sundar Rajan Pichai or Sundar Pichai. Okay, Sundar Pichai. So Sundar Pichai. Then we have the world's largest internet company. What's the name of the company? Amazon. So Amazon, it's headquartered in a place called Seattle, Washington State. Then we have Washington State. The CEO is Andy Jassy. Andy Jassy is a CEO. Andy Jassy is a CEO. Okay. You could also write world's biggest internet company by revenue. World's biggest internet company by revenue. IBM, headquartered in a place called Armonk, New York State. Armonk, New York State. And its CEO is Arvind Krishna. Arvind Krishna. So Tesla. Okay, there we go. Tesla is headquartered in Palo Alto, California. And CEO is Elon Musk. Microsoft, headquartered in a place called Redmond, Washington State, on the west coast of US. Okay, on the border with Canada. Redmond, Washington State, and CEO is Satya Nadella. So Dronacharya awardee Tarak Sinha passed away recently. He was associated with cricket. I want you to write this if you can actually. Right. Tarak Sinha dash cricket coach Dronacharya Dronacharya Award in 2018. Dronacharya Award in 2018 dash 12 of his students 12 of his students 12 of his students played for India You must be familiar with Ashish Nehra, Shikhar Dhawan, then Akash Chopra, who turned a commentator, Rishabh Pant, wicket keeper in the Indian cricket team, then Raman Lamba, Manoj Prabhakar, all of them played for, were coached under Tarak Sinha. Till I prepared for this, till I read this question, I didn't know who's Tarak Sinha. So this is how we learn. It's called Docendo Decimus. In Latin, there is something called Docendo Decimus. We learn by teaching. Yeah. Which the following has been chosen as the 2021 word of the year by the Oxford Dictionary? Wax. Now, I found this particular, this explanation on, the Oxford Dictionary website. What does it say? A relatively rare word in a corpus. Corpus means body. Corp means body. A relatively rare word in our corpus until this year. By September, it was over 72 times more frequent than at the same time last year. It has generated numerous derivatives that we are now seeing in a wide range of informal context, from wax sites and wax cards to getting waxed and being fully waxed. No word better captures the atmosphere of the past year than wax. So I'm doubly waxed. That's what it means, fully waxed. Going by that. Okay. So have you got wax? If I ask you, so have you had vaccine? Okay. So much to learn, isn't it? Daniel Ortega has won the presidential elections of Dash for a fourth consecutive term. Well, that's a country in yellow, Nicaragua. I first heard of Nicaragua way back in 1983-84, when there was a civil war happening in this country between the Sandinistas, who are like, leftist guys, communist guys, and the American-backed forces. Government forces. So then this story appears in this Salman Rushdie book called The Jaguar Smile. The Jaguar Smile, S-M-I-L-E, Smile. A Nicaraguan Journey is a subtitle. So the entire book is based on developments in Nicaragua. And that was written in 1986, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. I started reading quite early in life, so it just helps that when you look at this place, this map and all, it becomes that much more easy to explain. Like, for example, Nicaragua. Let's write Nicaragua. Okay. He was a rebel for a long time. Nicaragua, capital Managua. You could see this. See, star 7 is a capital, okay? Managua. President Daniel, So what we would do is capital, then President Daniel Ortega. Dash. What's the currency? Cordoba. So we could write just one nickname of this country. Nicaragua you would have written. So underline that, pull a down arrow and write land of. I remember this from ages past. Land of lakes and volcanoes. So let's write Guatemala. So I'll write here Guatemala. The capital is Guatemala City. Okay. See, this is Guatemala, the country. Okay. See, the country's name is here. This is a city, Guatemala. Okay. Guatemala City. The president here is Juan. How do you say that? Juan. Okay. No, this is Guatemala. Not Guatemala, Alessandro. I'm so sorry. Oh boy, how does this work? Sometimes, there is a psychological thing. Alessandro. The spelling of Alexander in this place. Geometry. Okay. Alexander Geometry. Oh, we have to write the capital, the currency also, no? Quetzal. Quetzal is also the name of a bird. Quetzal. This bird looks like a macaw. M-A-C-A-W. Macaw. So Guatemala. Then we write Honduras. See, this is Honduras. Let me make you familiar with this. This is Mexico, okay? Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador is a country. This is Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. Okay. Now, this is Honduras. The capital is Tegucigalpa. And this is Juan Orlando Hernandez, but I'll just write short name, Juan Hernandez. The currency is Lempira. What is Lempira? That's a currency of Honduras. Let's go to Belize. This is Belize. Belmopan. There is a city here called Belize City, which is the largest city in this country, but otherwise the capital is Belmopan. Okay. What is that? Belize, no? Yeah, Belize is what is it? It's not. It's like Canada. It's not a republic. Its constitutional head is the British monarch. So Johnny, this is the Prime Minister, Johnny Bricero. Bricero. Yeah. Sometimes, these spellings, these are not very common names for people like me, at least. So, Bricer, Bricero, and the currency is, Belize dollar. Belize dollar. Then let's go to the last country on the list. That's Panama, where you find the Panama Canal connecting the Pacific Ocean with the Atlantic Ocean. This is where it connects. Okay, this is where it connects. So Panama. Then we have the Panama City is the capital. Laurentino Cortizo. And they accept two currencies. One is Balboa, the other is American dollar. Okay, the usual currencies they accept is Balboa. Chalo. Who among the following has become the first Chinese woman to walk in space? Yang Yeping. So you could write this, could come in the exam straight away. Okay, you could write this. Wang Yeping, you write her name in dash. um, flew abroad, flew into space, flew into space on board, into space on board Shenzhou 13 spacecraft, Shenzhou 13 spacecraft to China is building a space station to Tiangong space station. Tiangong space station. Tiangong space station. So the first space station was Mir, built by Russia, the USSR. Then the ISS, which is built by the consortium of countries, including the US, and partnered also by the Russia, by the Russians. Then the Chinese want to build their own space station named Tiangong. You could write dash a little one line about her. Second Chinese female astronaut. Second Chinese female astronaut and first Chinese woman to perform spacewalk. So we said that she's the second Chinese female astronaut. Who was the first? Look at choice 5. Liu Yang. Liu Yang was the first Chinese person, female cosmonaut or astronaut. See, astronaut is a term used in the West. Astro means star, naut means sailor. Okay, typically used in the US and Europe. Cosmonaut used by Russia. Then the Chinese use a term called taikonaut. Very good term to learn, my friends. Taikonaut is a Chinese astronaut. Yes. Okay, a space traveler from China. See, I like to share more stuff than is warranted sometimes. Okay, it's good to learn. Which of the following nations topped the inaugural Global Drug Policy Index? Norway. So you could write this: Global Drug Policy Index 2021. Underline that first point. Ranked 30 nations on effectiveness of drug policies and their implementations. Drug policies and their implementation. Okay, next. Top 5. You could write like this: top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I told in the past, you should not, when you are ranking something, you don't put dots after the numbers, because if you do, they would turn into serial numbers. So 1 Norway, 2 New Zealand, 3 Portugal, 4 UK, 5 Australia. They are here. Okay. All five are mentioned. 5 Australia. Next. Rank 18 India. Rank 18 India. Rank 18 India. Rank 18 India. Okay. Then rank 30 in brackets last. Rank 30 in brackets last. The land of coffee, my friends. Brazil. 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 Okay. Chaliye. As part of the Creative City Network under the Crafts and Folk Arts category, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization has picked which Indian city among 49 cities worldwide? Well, Srinagar. In the past, there were 5 cities which had been picked from 5 Indian cities which had been picked. Now, Srinagar joins the race. So you could write UNESCO Creative Cities. UNESCO Creative Cities in India. UNESCO Creative Cities in India. UNESCO Creative Cities in India. Creative Cities in India. Right. Srinagar. Srinagar. Hyderabad. Hyderabad was considered food. Yeah. Oh, we Hyderabadis love food. Srinagar, Hyderabad, Mumbai. Mumbai for entertainment, film, music, and all. Film actually. Mumbai, Varanasi, Chennai, Varanasi, Chennai, and Jaipur, and Jaipur, and Jaipur. And that's it. UNESCO's head office is in Paris. The second one, its Director General is Audrey Azoulay. She's from France. UNESCO is globally headquartered at Paris, and its Director General or Secretary General is Audrey Azoulay of France. Okay. So, according to Leeds, which is Logistics Ease Across Different States report, this year's report, which state has been ranked first for the 3rd consecutive year in the Logistics Performance Index? Gujarat. So why don't you write this? Leeds 2021 report. Okay. 2021 report. Underline that. First point. Prepared by Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Road Transport and Highways. Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Okay, second point. Top 5. Gujarat. So 1 was Gujarat, 2 Haryana, 3 Punjab, 4 Tamil Nadu, 5 Maharashtra. First was Gujarat, second was Haryana, third Punjab, fourth Maharashtra. Next, ranking based on ease of obtaining approvals, yes, comma, regulatory services efficiency, regulatory services, regulatory services efficiency. So how good are these regulatory services? Next, cargo delivery, cargo delivery timeliness, cargo delivery timeliness, and freight right, freight, F-R-E-I-G-H-T, freight rate reasonability, reasonability. How effective are how reasonable are freight, freight rates? They're exorbitant right now because of the supply chain bottlenecks everywhere, but otherwise, things are okay. Normally things would be okay, but times are abnormal, and abnormal times call for normally have abnormal fares. Whom of the following persons have recently been honored with the 2020 Padma Vibhushan posthumously for their exceptional and distinguished service? Now, there are 7 persons who were given the Padma Vibhushan. Padma Vibhushan is India's second highest civilian award. Which is the highest civilian award in India? Bharat Ratna. Number 1 is Bharat Ratna. Number 2 is Padma Vibhushan. Number 3 is Padma Bhushan. Number 4 is Padma Shri. Okay? These are 4 highest civilian awards in India. Now, all 4 of them were given the Padma Vibhushan this year. But these were 2020, and there were 3 more. One was, and by the way, do you know who was George Fernandez? He's considered one of India's greatest labor leaders, trade union leaders. He was the labor minister, industry minister in the Janata Party government in the 1970s. And he also was the defense minister of India when the United Front government was in power. He famously is categorized China as India's enemy number 1 25 years back. 25 years back he categorized India, as he categorized India as he categorized China as India's number 1 enemy way back from 1996 or 97, my friends. He was very brave. He was jailed by Indira Gandhi for leading the railway into strike, which then had never struck work. But in 1973, I think 73 or 74, he took the railways on a strike, and that stopped trains everywhere in India. But he was jailed later by Indira Gandhi. Anirudh Jugnauth is ex-president of Mauritius. Okay, he's dead, of course. And apart from these, there were a couple of more people I would want you to know. 2020 Padma Vibhushan was also given to Mary Kom, 6-time world boxing champion. Okay, then so was Chunni Lal Mishra. The 4 plus 2. Plus, there was this spiritual leaders, I don't exactly know the full name. I am not able to recall in the sense that it's a very tongue twister kind of thing. Swamiji, I would rather than take the name in the wrong way, I would rather skip it, my friends. Okay. So, 7. But this year's Padma Vibhushan winners are important, my friends. This year's, okay. You write 2021 Padma Vibhushan. Shinzo Abe, you must be familiar with this name. Ex-Prime Minister of Japan. Yeah, he resigned following illness. Then Narinder Singh Kepani. Narinder Singh Kepani. Narinder Singh Kepani is he was given this posthumously after his death, of course, and he was given for the invention of the optic fiber. You know, optic fibers are the soul of data transmission, all kinds of, you know, what's a wireless digital revolution these days. Optic fibers work on the basis of total internal reflection. Then the great singer S.P. Balasubramaniam. S.P. Balasubramaniam. S.P. Balasubramaniam. Then fourth, Belle Monappa Hegde. So four names have come. Then Maulana Wahiuddin Khan, spiritual. Five have come. Then six, historian and former Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India, Brijbasi Lal, Bibi Lal. Seventh name, Sudarshan Sahu, sand sculptor, my friends. Okay, all seven have come. Shinjo Abe, Narinder Singh Kepani, S.P. Balasubramaniam, Belle Monappa Hegde, Maulana Wahiuddin Khan, Brijbasi Lal, and Sudarshan Sahu. Okay. I'm sorry for that. The name I couldn't get that. Actually, you know, Swami. It starts with V. Swamiji Sri. Then there is something with P, and then the last letter word starts with A. I'm not getting the pronunciation right, so I don't want to. You know, it's a spiritual name, so I don't want to take in the wrong sense. Okay. So, Bank of New York Mellon Corporation recently pulled out of providing financial services to the Adani Group and its Carmichael coal mine in Australia. Australia is a pretty large country, 2.5 times India's area. Population is what, 2.6 crore, which is nowhere comparable with India's. Okay, Adani had bought a mine. The Adani Group had bought a mine in the Queensland state of Australia, where they wanted to set this up and dig. It's an open pit mine and all. It was meant to be a pretty large investment, foreign direct investment, but people there, environmentalists, some people there and environmentalists said that this would damage the environment around. It would lead to coal, no? So, you know, coal extraction could damage the Great Barrier Reef on the Queensland coast. Then it would pollute water, contaminate water resources, destroy flora, fauna, you know, animal, plant life. So many allegations came about, and these days it's like, you know, there is intense pressure from shareholders and investors of companies to stay away from those, you know, from investing in those companies which pollute the environment. So this company pulled out its money from Adani Group. So this is how it works, my friends. Today we live in a very different kind of world. So Adani Group, Carmichael mine in Queensland state of Australia. Huge coal mine. Chaliye. Morinari Watanabe was recently re-elected to a new 3-year term as president of the International Gymnastic Federation. Morinari Watanabe is from Japan. So you just write this particular, I'll give you one line about this, okay? Right. H.O. Lausanne, Switzerland, Lausanne, Switzerland, and you could write established 1881, Down arrow there. World's oldest existing International Sports Federation. International Sports Federation. International Sports Federation. Charlie. Which of the following companies has announced its collaboration with Invest India to support tech startups in the country? Microsoft. I think we discussed Microsoft a while ago. So TCS CEO, we'll just look at the CEOs, my friends. Okay. TCS, India's largest software services company, Rajesh Gopinathan. Infosys CEO is Salil Parekh. Capgemini, this is a French company. It's headquartered in Paris, and its CEO is Ayman Izzat. Headquartered in Paris. Capgemini. Okay. India's first messenger RNA based COVID-19 vaccine named HGC 019 has been approved for phase 2 and phase 3 trials. Identify the company that is working on this vaccine. It's a Pune based company named Genova Biopharmaceuticals. Okay. Its CEO, you could write, its chairman is Satish Ramanlal Mehta or Satish R Mehta. Satish R Mehta. This is also headquartered in Pune. Serum Institute of India. CEO is Adar Poonawalla. Indian Immunologicals Limited. See, this is a company set up by the National Dairy Development Board. I was surprised when I read this. National Dairy Development Board set this up. Okay, and in the 80s, of course, one of the world's largest vaccine manufacturers. While Serum Institute is the world's biggest contract manufacturer of vaccines. This is also one of the world's biggest companies. This was set up by NDDB. It's headquartered in Hyderabad, and its director is Dr. Anand Krishna. What's the name? Anand Kumar. Dr. Anand Kumar. Slight confusion there, but Dr. Anand Kumar is a chairperson. Bharat Biotech, again Hyderabad based company. Krishna Ella is the CEO. Krishna Ella. Biological Evans Limited, Hyderabad based company. It's headquartered in Hyderabad. Its CEO is Mahima Datla. CEO is Mahima Datla. So Niti Aayog has released Northeastern Region District Sustainable Development Goals Index and Dashboard 21-22. Which of the following districts in the region has topped the index? Northeastern region is Sikkim. East Sikkim. So Sikkim's chief minister is, you could write Sikkim. Just write Sikkim, not East Sikkim. You will not write the district name. Sikkim. Gangtok is the capital. Gangtok. India's smallest state by population, and second smallest by area also. Smallest state by population. Its chief minister is Prem Singh Tamang. Tripura, lovely place. Tripura, the capital is Agartala. That's the capital. The chief minister is Biplab Deb Kumar. Biplab Deb Kumar. Niti Aayog CEO is Amitabh Kant. Amitabh Kant. K-A-N-T. Kant. Amitabh Kant. Amitabh Kant. The Union Minister Smriti Irani addressed the first G20 conference on women empowerment held under the presidency of Italy. Smriti Irani, you could write, is Women and Child Development Minister. Union Minister for Women and Child Development. Women and Child Development. Women and Child Development. Women and Child Development. Okay. The Prime Minister of Italy is Mario Draghi. Mario Draghi is the Prime Minister. Canada Prime Minister is Justin Trudeau. Brazil President is Jair Bolsonaro. Germany, Angela Merkel. That's how you pronounce her name. Angela, not Angela. Angela. Angela Merkel. Mexico, Juan, what is his name? Obrador Manuel Perez. Just write Obrador Perez. Okay, Obrador Manuel Perez. G20 is group of 20 nations. You could write this. Group of 20 nations. G20. Group of 20 nations. So G20 comprises G7 plus China, India, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Republic of South Africa. Okay, then we have what is that? Australia. We have Indonesia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 to 9. Okay, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, okay, South Korea. What else? Spain. But European Union is also included as one entity. Okay, remember, European Union is included as one entity. So you could also say plus European Union plus separate members. Some of these countries are separate members. Britain is a separate member. Okay, so is what is that country? France. Yeah, Germany. These are all separate members also. Okay, they send their own delegates again. Fair. Yeah, I did not mention Russia here in G7 plus. Then you should also add the Russian Federation. Okay, Turkey is there. Turkey is another member. Turkey, Russia. The Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has notified the Deepor Beel Wildlife Sanctuary as an eco-sensitive zone. This Ramsar site is in Assam. It's in Assam. What can we put some national parks in each of these places? Well, West Bengal, Baksa Tiger Reserve. Baksa Tiger Reserve. Jharkhand, Betla National Park. Betla National Park. Karnataka, Bandipur National Park or Bandipur Tiger Reserve. Telangana, Mrugavani. Mrugavani National Park. You know what was India's first national park? Haley. India's first national park was Haley National Park, 1937, now called the Corbett National Park. Corbett National Park. Okay. Oh, we're running. MSF is what is that? Marginal standing facility. Marginal standing facility. Why don't you write a couple of lines about this? Marginal standing facility. Okay, please write. Underline that first point. Window for banks. Window for banks to borrow from the RBI. From the RBI. Window for banks to borrow from the RBI in an emergency situation. In an emergency situation. In an emergency situation. When interbank liquidity, inter-bank liquidity dries up completely. So banks can approach, scheduled commercial banks can approach the RBI saying that, look, we need money. This is a last resort thing. Normally when banks need money, they call up the other banks and take money on a short-term basis. But sometimes the other banks also may not have money. So that is when the liquidity dries up. Okay. So they approach the commercial bank, then approach the RBI for paisa. Next point. Interest rate is usually 1% above repo rate, repo rate. Now if you don't know repo rate, underline repo rate, pull a down arrow, write this. Interest rate charged by RBI on short-term loans to commercial banks. Okay, yeah. So if the current repo rate is 4%, okay, 4% is the current repo rate. Means when banks borrow from the RBI, they pay 4% under repo rate. But in case they want much more than what is allowed under, there are certain limits, then banks would have to shell out for repo rate plus 1%, which is now 4% plus 1%, 5%. Okay, that's a lot of money. See, when banks, what happens is that when banks charge more, when banks pay more to the RBI, it means, in a very simple sense, what happens is their loans become expensive. They pay more to the RBI means they will have to collect more from the consumers. You got it? They have to collect more from the consumers. So the same thing here. Which of the following actions gives the banks an opportunity to lend their customers at lower interest rates? Now, when can banks lend at lower interest rates? Only when what they pay to the RBI is low. Second, they can raise funds at a lower cost from outside the RBI and outside the banks. But if they pay more to their lenders, then they will have to collect from their borrowers also. Got it? So none of them is right. Increase in repo rate means loans become more expensive. Decrease in reverse repo. What is reverse repo? You write this. Reverse repo. Please write this. Reverse repo. rate charged by commercial banks, interest rate charged by commercial banks, interest rate charged by commercial banks on short term loans to the RBI, on short term loans to the RBI, short term loans to the RBI, short term loans to the RBI. Got it? Simple way of looking at it. So if the reverse repo rate decreases, means they will earn less. So if the RBI, if the reverse repo is 4% now, and it goes down to 3%, means earlier the bank, when it lent to the RBI, was earning 4%. Now it's earning only 3%. So its revenue goes down. Its cost of borrowings increase. So it doesn't work that way. Okay. What is bank rate? Increase in bank rate. Bank rate is the same as repo rate, but in the definition you have to replace short term with long term. So you could write this: bank rate. Rate of interest charged by the RBI on long term loans, charged by the RBI on long term loans to commercial banks, See, long term usually is about a year. Okay, that's very long. Actually, in banking world, it's pretty long. Maybe on interest rates, I'll come back with better understanding. Maybe in the next 2-3 classes. Okay. Thank you. We spent more than 1 hour 20 minutes, I guess. So I will stop here. Thanks for being here. Have a lot of fun. Stay curious.